Moscow is full of unique, authentic experiences. Feel the mystery behind the scenes.
No matter what they call it, no matter what they want it, they don't know there's
Unfold the history of a great nation as you stroll through an ancient fortress. Don't miss a chance to try an 18th century costume and learn more about traditions of the Russian aristocrats.
Don't you know there's
Try an exquisite performance by a Michelin chef
just blows my bikini.
or a cozy traditional tea ceremony. Get to know unusual means of transport in Moscow.
No matter
Get a bird's eye view of the city.
no matter what they want it, they don't know there's no
Moscow knows how to attract your attention.
just blows my bikini from standing. We'll call it whatever that we want it. Don't you know there's no way they'll ever get it? When just blows my bikini from standing.
Open your heart to Moscow. Moscow is full of unique, authentic experiences. Feel the mystery behind the scenes.
No matter what they call it, no matter what they want it, they don't know there's
Unfold the history of a great nation as you stroll through an ancient fortress. Don't miss a chance to try an 18th century costume and learn more about traditions of the Russian aristocrats.
don't you know there's
Try an exquisite performance by a Michelin chef
just blows by we keep
or a cozy traditional tea ceremony. Get to know unusual means of transport in Moscow.
no matter
Get a bird's eye view of the city.
no matter what they want it, they don't know there's no
Moscow knows how to attract your attention.
just blows by we keep on standing. We'll call it whatever that we want it. Don't you know there's no way that we'll ever get it? Wind just blows by we keep on standing, standing.
Open your heart to Moscow.
Well, good afternoon, dear colleagues. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Magomed Mijiev. I represent Moscow City Tourism Committee, and I'm very glad to welcome tourism industry representatives from the Southeast Asia. Our digital roadshow aims at the strengthening relations between Moscow and the Southeast Asia in tourism. So today we are going to present what Moscow is now, what it looks like, what it is, and what exactly which new products we have to offer for tourists from the Southeast Asia. So now, dear colleagues, I'm about to present the most interesting offers of Moscow and tell you about the most valuable and practical information about Moscow for tourists from the Southeast Asia. So I will ask my colleagues to turn on the presentation. Yes, next slide, please. So, dear guests, here are some one of the most popular words or concepts that every second potential tourist has when it comes to Moscow. You can see that straight on the slide. And we, as members of the Moscow City Tourism Committee, we are glad to erase all the possible stereotypes and show our tourists a whole new Moscow from the whole new perspective, and show them and demonstrate them Moscow that they never experienced before. Next slide, please. So on this slide, you can see very few of the main facts and figures about Moscow. So these numbers that you can see are the main proof that Moscow is actually incredibly multifaceted. And we have around 440 museums and exhibition halls, more than 250 theaters and concert halls, like 694 hotels for every budget, where every tourist can stay. And as we speak about staying, you should know that there are 1.5 million tourists staying in Moscow hotels every year. Next slide, please. Yeah. Yes, thank you. So let's get to the main information about our city. Next slide. So as we speak about practical and valuable information for tourists, here you can see the language. As you may already know, Russian is our official language. Moscow is actually Russia's most foreign-friendly city. There are a lot of guides. The Russian Guides Association currently numbers 1,900 professional guides who speak with 33 languages. So here you can see time zone. Yes, thank you. You can also see the our weather conditions that we face every year, every season, and the best season for visiting our city. Actually, you can see the information about this seasons, and our city is beautiful and full of charm at any time of year. It's not just the text on the slide; it's for real. It's the truth, and every tourist that who is visiting our city can prove that, because we have plenty of things to offer for our tourists within summer, winter, spring, and actually every season. Next slide, please. So we're living in the times that changing so fast, and for every tourist, the most valuable information is a practical one. So the practical one for us is something like visa formalities. So here you can see all the description about what actually tourist needs to do to get this visa, the cost of electronic visa, and the types of entry visas. Next slide, please. So here you can see also our airports. We have actually a lot of transport in Moscow, but I will tell you about this further. So here you can see the map, how it includes all the airports that we have. We have also Air Express that helps every tourist to get fastly to every airport. So let's get to the next slide. Yes, Moscow is certainly a major transport hub because there are so many types of transport, once again, as I said. For example, except ground public transport, we have metro, which counts like 250 train station, Moscow Central Circle, which is connected to the metro, and it also includes 31 stations. We have plenty of comfortable transport for every tourist, actually, and for every season. Next slide, please. And by saying about every season, I mean that we have, like for summertime, bicycles, scooter, and especially electronic scooter rentals. It's one of the most popular, actually, types of our transport. And of course, we have a taxi, as you know, and car sharing, which is also one of the most popular types of transport. Right away with electronic scooter rentals. Next slide, please. So when I told you that every year there are a lot of tourists staying in Moscow, I meant that we have actually plenty of places to provide, to offer our tourists. And once again, on the territory of Moscow, there are hotels for every taste and every budget, both 5 stars and 4 stars, as well as boutique hotels in old restored mansions, where they are ready to provide you comfort, maximum comfort actually, and the best service. Next slide, please. So here you can see one of the many suggestions on the activities in Moscow. Next slide, please. So as you can see, our city is not only it's beautiful, but it's beautiful thanks to its parks, its museums, theaters, estates, buildings, and every infrastructure that you can see on these slides. Yes, next slide, please. So the gastronomic side of Moscow is incredibly rich in various cuisines from all over the world. Here you can taste dishes from cuisines such as Russian cuisine, Japanese, Chinese, Indian, Spanish, Italian, Greek, and of course, we have especially the halal cuisine. So please on previous slide. Yes, thank you. So the fact that Michelin Guide has now 69 Moscow restaurants really deserves its special attention, as well as the fact that 2 of our restaurants were awarded with 2 Michelin stars. Here you can see which of these restaurants has actually these 2 Michelin stars. Next slide, please. And 7 of our restaurants has 1 Michelin star. And here you can see what exact restaurants are. Thank you. Let's stop here. Of course, Moscow once again has a variety of options for tourists who prefer halal food. We have a very good attention for those guests, for those tourists who prefer halal food. And also, moreover, we have 45 points with halal cuisine, and actually they are waiting for its visitors. And here you can see also which restaurants are those. Thank you. So this slide shows our digital service, which is called Discover Moscow, which is the main source of information about the tourist potential of Moscow. I recommend everyone to visit actually our website and get inspired by this city even more, thanks to the practical and the information that is really valuable for every potential tourist, as I mentioned before. Thank you. Next slide, please. So we also have educational and tourist project, which is called City of Discoveries. This is a whole new educational journey for school children and youth to the capital of Russia. It's actually not just a project. It's a whole new way to get to know the reality beyond the textbooks, beyond the lessons, an opportunity to learn how to discover new resources and find these resources and find something new within the education in the city space. Next slide. So Russia also has accept these educational project and accept every other projects that we mentioned before. Russia also has a digital assistant for planning trips across all the country, across Russia, to be concrete. It's called Ruspass, and this is a service developed by the Moscow city government. Using it, travelers can actually buy a train or plane tickets. They can book a hotel room or find a restaurant, buy tickets to museum or concert. And partners from the tourism and hospitality industry of Moscow and all Russian regions are involved in cooperation to provide something new. It's developing, it's increases every day actually, and we are finding our best solutions to provide something new to our tourists. Thank you. Next slide, please. So, dear participants, thank you for your attention. And from now on, I'm about to finish my presentation. And as we also spoke about the gastronomic side of Moscow, there are plenty of things more to tell, to share with you within this subject. So please allow me to turn the floor over to Maria Tymenova, the founder, the CEO, and managing partner of AM Appetitny Marketing Communication Agency. Maria, please. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Again, my name is Maria Tymenova, and I'm happy to be here with all of you. Today, I would like to talk about a very interesting topic, how gastronomy influenced the development of the country. Next slide, please. And first of all, a few words about me. I'm the founder and the CEO of one of the biggest communication agency on HoReCa market in Russia, AM or Appetitny Marketing. I have more than 15 years of experience in PR, marketing, social media, and advertising. And I'm happy to share my experience and the experience of my team with you today. Next slide, please. So we've been working in Russia for almost 8 years for now. In our portfolio, there are more than 250 projects, and we work in 5 cities with the central office in Moscow. We love our job, our clients, and challenges. Thank you. So let's start with some data about tourism as one of the drivers for the development. It's very important to mention that tourism continues to recover at a high rate. According to United Nations World Tourism Organization, in the first quarter of this year, the number of international arrivals has tripled compared to the same period in last year. And the most important that in 2022, the number of foreign tourists in other countries of the world will reach from 55 to 70% of the 2019 level, depending on several factors, including the speed of lifting travel restriction. So we see that traveling is a trend and it's beginning to recover. Next slide, please. Coming back to Russia, we should say that almost all traveling restrictions in our country have been removed now. And we can see that Russia is a point of interest to the tourists from Southeast Asia. For example, in 2019, the biggest number of tourists came to Russia from this region. Asian tourists are interested in traditional routes, but at the same time, we can see that new regions and new experiences are becoming more and more interesting for the tourists. On the one hand, we have demand to visit, of course, Moscow, St. Petersburg, and Sochi, and on the other hand, Murmansk or Trans-Siberian Railway, or tourists to Baikal and Kamchatka, as well as trips to Kazan, the center of Islamic culture in Russia. And it's also important to say that a lot of traveling are based on gastronomy. So we can say that it's part of lifestyle and entertainment, and one of the drivers to visit the certain region. So gastronomic tourism is also the new trend. Next slide, please. So what does it mean? It means that gastronomic tourism is one of the drivers to visit Russia. Its main principle is based on the interest of the people to the region with a certain gastronomic culture. We can see two types of gastronomic tourism: individual and eventual. Individual gastronomic tourism is based on the interest to the certain gastronomic places and chefs. This type doesn't depend on any events of the region. The second type is based on certain festivals and local events organized in the region. This type depends directly on the event or information occasion. Moscow can offer both these types. Next slide, please. If we talk about individual tourism, we should ask what interesting types of cuisine we can find in Russia besides the tradition. For everybody, not everybody knows, but Russia has a big market of halal products, and we can highlight a few facts influencing this trend. First of all, Russia is a great example of multinational and multi-confessional country. Islam is the second most common religion here. Second, the largest and most popular category of halal goods in Russia is food. Third, halal is the symbol of quality. So these products are chosen by consumers all over the country, not just Muslims. And fourth, we have a lot of food producers offering halal products in Russia, and there's still a lot of space for growth. Following the trend, many Moscow restaurants successfully use halal products in everyday work. We also have special gastronomic places where halal products play the main role. Next slide, please. On the next slide, we would like to introduce you some best cases how gastronomy influenced the country and what types of promotion are conducted to support gastronomic tourism. For example, our NGC worked on the government program of the promotion of Russian gastronomy as part as Russian culture before the World Cup. We managed to show that in modern Russia, there are real stars of gastronomy, chefs who work at the same high level as the leading chefs all over the world. We organized full PR support and 35 events, gala dinners, master classes, local festivals, charity culinary programs in 10 countries. Among the greatest was the trip of Michelin star chef Massimo Bottura to Moscow, where he with his team prepared the special private dinner for leading Russian chefs at Turandot restaurant. Such types of activity help to introduce Russian cuisine in the most efficient way. Next slide, please. Now I would like to talk about Russian modern cuisine. Modern Russian cuisine is mainly based on traditional recipes, local products, and modern technologies. It's very interesting and delicious, and we wanted a lot of people to see it and try it. So, to attract the special attention to Russian cuisine, our team also supported special government program, the promotion of Russian cuisine as a part of Russian culture, and the gastronomic contest, the ambassador of Russian cuisine, with more than 30 events in 10 countries. Next slide, please. Now I would like to talk about the case which was directed to the development of the eventual tourism. The Breakfast Festival is a good example of local event that attract people not only inside the country, but also abroad. The unique concept based on booming trend in Russia to eat out in the morning, and now it's a very popular festival which was held 4 times with almost 144 participants and remarkable promotional program, and it's a great success. The result you can see on this slide. And next slide, please. In addition, I would like to say that the events abroad also help to promote the country. For example, the Moscow Gastronomic Week in Dubai, supported by the mayor and the government of Moscow in the frame of Expo, successfully introduced the real Moscow cuisine to people abroad. And we believe that it also helps to attract more tourists to Moscow. And next slide. Now I would like to thank you for your attention. Today we talked about the importance of gastronomy in country and what you can find especially in Moscow. I hope you found it interesting. Thank you again and have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Maria, for such detailed information about the gastronomic side of Moscow. Now, I would like to note that one of our colleagues from the Southeast Asia side, Jeffrey Go, he raised his hand. So maybe some of colleagues has their questions. I would like to complete. All right, so in case if there are some questions, I guess that we can move on and answer your questions after our agenda. So thank you once again, Maria. And to repeat myself, once again, Moscow is incredibly multifaceted, and it had many reaches. And one of those reaches is shopping in our city. So Inna Asaturova, head of international project of TSUM department store, will tell you about it in detail. Inna, please.
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Good afternoon. Thank you, Magomed. Well, if I say that mostly people love traveling, there will be nothing new for you, right? But we can subdivide them on some groups. Some of the travelers, they do prefer, can you please stop on the last slide? Yes, thank you. Some of the groups, like travelers, they prefer to stay surrounded by nature. And other ones, they prefer gastronomic tourism. The third group, they do love visiting museums and cultural places. And other ones are shopping lovers and shopaholics. Of course, I will get back to shopping a bit later, but I want to say that Moscow is perfectly related with all above mentioned ways of tourism. Like our city is, as Magomed already mentioned in his introduction speech, is one of the most amazing and beautiful places actually in the world. We have really interesting places to visit and really interesting place to spend the time during all the round year. And so far, please look at this image. What do you see? It's a historical city center of Moscow. One of the building is TSUM department store, the best luxury department store in Russia, and the biggest luxury department store, one of the biggest luxury department stores in Western Europe. And next to TSUM building, you can see one of the historical building of theater. It's a Bolshoi theater, famous, one of the most famous theaters around the world. So every steps you do in the city center, you will enjoy every building and architectural style surrounded you. TSUM is the world's signature fashion department store that has been a historical site and the symbol of fashion in Moscow for more than 100 years. Next slide, please. Next one. Yes, exactly. Thank you. The building of department store is in European Gothic style with Art Nouveau details. It was created by Russian architect Klein, Mr. Klein, that was an author of Pushkin State Museum of Fine Arts. And nearby is a Bolshoi Theater. TUM exactly remains that you have to 100% to visit this place because it's a historical part for everyone who needs to visit it during their staying in Moscow. Next slide, please. Thank you. As we know, Russia as a language is not very popular around the world. But for international visitors, as Magomed already mentioned, our guides speak really different languages. And TUM department store made a really big job to make the staying of international visitors in indoors of TUM department store very convenient. We translated all our navigation signs into English and even Chinese language. Our staff speaks different languages, European languages, Asian languages, to make the staying of our international visitors very comfortable. We have a special leaflets and menus translated into English to make it very convenient go through the department store, because it's a 5-floor department store with plenty of different luxury goods. There is a special information desk on the 1st floor and on a 5th floor that our international visitors can easily ask for any help. Our staff speaks different languages and they will easily navigate you through the floors of TUM. And there is another kind of service for very demanding tourists and very demanding visitors. We call it VIP services. Can you skip the tax refund shopping and go to VIP services slide? Yes, thank you very much. We can book it easily for our VIP travelers, VIP shoppers, our VIP room. With a special support of our personal shopper that will help you to create special looks for different occasions. There will be a special service for your kids if it's necessary, for your family. It's a bespoke tailoring. We can even organize this kind of VIP shopping at the hotel of your staying. For example, if you are too busy and you don't have a time for shopping, but there is a special case that you have to visit a special place or conference or even Bolshoi Theater and you want to get dressed, you can give a call and book a VIP shopper that will visit and come to your hotel room with all necessary stuff, prepared all the goods that you were asking for, and the fitting will be exactly at the hotel room. If you have time and you would like to visit the VIP room in a TUM department store, it's also available to book and organize that kind of service. And can we skip and get back to tax refund? Yes, thank you so much. And starting from 2018, we have a tax refund service here in Russia. It's additional service for international visitors, and it's up to 12% of tax refund for shopping and for purchases. Minimum purchase amount is 10K rubles per retailer and per calendar day. So you can get your tax refund within 3 months leaving Moscow, leaving the territory of Russian Federation. And then we are going to a slide called perfumery. I want to introduce you like what do we have floors by floors. I already mentioned that we have a 5-floor department store, and each floor contains different categories of fashion, perfumery, and cosmetics. Traditionally, all department stores, if we call it department store exactly, have a special rates of floors. So the first floor belongs to perfumery and cosmetics. So you can find a lot of different brands, world famous brands, and even some exclusive positions that are provided only for Russian markets. So sometimes our international visitors, when they come to our department store, they are asking for some specials, for exclusives that they can buy only in Russia. We do provide this kind of items. We do provide this kind of goods, because some of designers and cosmetics brands and fashion brands and accessories brands, they do some limited editions only for Russian market, and you can enjoy with these exclusive positions that you even cannot buy in any other countries. So cosmetics and perfumery, it's about and accessories is about our first floor. When we step to the next floor, it's a menswear, large selection of menswear and men's shoes you can find on a second floor of some department store. I would make a small stop. You also can just enjoy a really nice cuisine on our second floor as well. We don't have any images here in my presentation, but there is pretty often, mostly for women, of course, men do not shopping really for a long time, but women, they do prefer a long day shopping, and they do some stops and some breaks for coffee, for lunch. We have two cafes on a second and a fourth floor, and there is another restaurant on a fifth floor when you can just make a stop and have a good lunch or even dinner or coffee break, and then continue your shopping. Then we step to the third floor for women's wear, and of course, the finest selection of women's wear. Women's wear is represented by more than 1,000 brands in TUM, including Valentino, Celine, Saint Laurent, Balmain, Bottega Veneta, and so on. Women's shoes. Of course, a good selection of women's shoes as well you can find on a third floor. And then we step to the fourth floor with denim zone. We skip bags and accessories because it belongs to the first floor. Yes, and go to denim zone and customized bar. When you travel with kids or even for yourself and buy some denim stuff, you want to customize it. And we have a really nice customized bar there, and it will be a really nice present to yourself to customize it and to remain that you stayed at TUM department store, you visited Moscow, and it will be a good memory for kids and even for any traveler who did a purchase in TUM. Kids wear is also belongs to the fourth floor as a lingerie, and then we skip to the porcelain and crystal. There is also a special collections that we create with special limited edition only for Russian market, with Baccarat or with Bernardo. It's a world famous international brands that can be found in the best department stores or boutiques all around the world. But we do special limited collections and collaborations with them, so our customers can enjoy with these kind of exclusive goods and exclusive positions. So you can visit it on our first floor. There is a big zone of porcelain and crystal at TUM department store. You will really enjoy this corner because it's really about something beautiful, about something sophisticated and even peaceful place, because you visit it like a museum. It's really beautiful and entertaining. So jewelry and watches. TUM presents world famous classic jewelry and watches brands as well as a fashion jewelry collections. So you can find the Rolex, Patek Philippe, Chopard, Graf, Hublot, and so on. it's a separated zone, very for demanding travelers, visitors, and tourists. You even can order it to the hotel. We can deliver it for your fitting and learning, and then you can make a choice and buy it. And here is some contact information about our opening hours, about our contacts, and about personal shopper and personal shopping. Because if you want to book a VIP shopping room, or you want to organize the VIP shopping at your hotel, you have to give a call, you have to book the timing slot, and we will organize it with the best service we can provide. And once again, our beautiful image of Tsum and next to the Bolshoi Theater, the place in the city center with the beautiful views. After shopping, you can have a walk, cross around, and enjoy Moscow. Thank you so much for your attention.
Ina, thank you so much for your presentation, for all of the practical and valuable descriptions about shopping, about the whole infrastructure. I am sure that every one of our participants took that note, and this was very important for every participant of our Digital Roadshow. So I would like to thank all of the speakers for spending this day with us, for telling us so many interesting things about Moscow, and most importantly, helping our guests, our participants, to get inspired by our amazing city. So I would like also to thank all of our participants. Right now, we kindly invite you to continue our Digital Roadshow by starting B2B talk session with Moscow participants. And actually, we really hope that you will organize as many online meetings with Moscow participants as it's possible. So once again, thank you so much for your attention. So I'm wishing you a good day, and most importantly, a productive day and productive B2B meeting session. Thank you.